I'm Fredrik Leilani, and I'm the filmmaker.
And I'm Leilani Farha, and I'm the advocate.
Hello, advocates. This is Pushback Talk, and this is our, the way of us keeping alive, putting words to each other, and we call it word food.
Word food.
Leilani, nice to see you. Are you ready?
Always ready.
Are you, how did the French say? Are you prête?
Prête. There's an expression, I was born ready.
Let's go. Vamos. The first word for you will be Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. I was there a couple of years ago. I have a heart for Puerto Rico. Years and years ago, I was a judge in this, well, I still am, but a judge in this competition for really good housing projects. It's called the Habitat Awards. And one year we awarded it to a community in Puerto Rico who had resisted eviction and had created a community land trust and really saved a beautiful community. And then a few years ago, I was in Puerto Rico and I got to visit the community, and we had a screening of Push, the film, which everyone should see. And it was just so beautiful, and the people were so beautiful and real warriors, maintaining their claim to the land. But what also struck me when I was there was how simpatico Puerto Ricans are with Palestinians, of course, because it's a very similar struggle. People may not know that Puerto Rico is basically an occupied territory by the United States. I mean, that's, and they have a whole liberation movement, et cetera. So that's my Puerto Rico.
We did actually an episode with the land trust people in San Juan for this podcast. So your listener can go look for it. It's in the backlog of our episodes. So that's very inspiring to hear more about their struggle. But for me, when I saw Bad Bunny show in the Super Bowl, which was normally when people talk about the Super Bowl, I don't watch it. I never watched it. I don't care about the game. But people normally talk about the commercial breaks, all the amazing overspending. But this year, nobody been talking about anything about what was in the commercial break. Everybody talked about Bad Bunny. And, I have a heart for Latin America, and it's so emotional. It's such a good storytelling, every detail of bringing up community. And, of course, this anti-colonial storytelling that so many people identify with. And I think for me, people are so much into the depression of our time, that the fascists are running everywhere and everything is so horrible and it's like they are so strong. But suddenly the message that came out from Bad Bunny's show was like, we are strong. You can fight back with joy, with smiles and music and pride. And I think the message is so strong, so it actually makes people feel that they can straighten them up, and of course people, Latinos and a lot of other minorities, so-called minorities in the US, are under a lot of pressure because of Trump and ICE or whatever they are. It's such a strange thing of having this Elon Musk. Now, I saw Elon Musk posting that his Grok is actually telling the more correct story of, if you ask the question if the US is an occupied territory. And his search engine now explains that it's not, So it's like it's a struggle of storytelling. But in this struggle, Bad Bunny and the Puerto Ricans told their story in a very good way. And now we also talk about Hawaii. That was also a land taken. And
it was so interesting too, because I saw on social media, of course, I watched the Bad Bunny performance at the Super Bowl. I never watched the Super Bowl, but I will occasionally watch an artist performing there. But it raised a lot of people were putting on social media, hey, what happened to Hawaii and why did he raise Hawaii? And I thought that was really interesting, and it provoked a conversation about, well, the occupation of territory, the takeover of territory, what sovereignty means. So many Americans didn't even know that Puerto Ricans are American. I mean, and didn't know that they can't vote for certain parts of like they can vote for their own governor, but can't vote for president. I mean, and yet they're ruled by the president. So really interesting. And there was also an interesting critique of Bad Bunny because he invited in Lady Gaga and he was wearing clothing from this company, Zara, both Zara and Lady Gaga associated with Zionism. And I thought it was an interesting critique. I didn't really engage in it myself because many things can happen at once. And what he did was so important, in my opinion, to, as you said, bring joy to a situation that is not always discussed in joyful terms, to bring joy, to ask for change, to demand change is quite unique these days, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of us are in the trenches not feeling much joy. And so I think two things can happen at once. I think he can be doing an amazing thing.
There was actually a Palestinian in one of the many details. There was also a Palestinian in the show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but anyway, I'm not going into that kind of critique of Lady Gaga. I just loved it, and then the message that went through was amazing. So, Viva Puerto Rico.
And as you say, the details, because what he did with joy was also show the oppression of Puerto Ricans, and that is not an easy thing to do. To show oppression through joy. I mean.
Yeah. And then, of course, I mean, we talked about in that episode and about the land trust in San Juan is the disaster capitalism, how when there was this big volcano, a lot of communities were destroyed, how the big money moved in. And this is the story. I mean, there was a big fire in Hawaii, and the neighbors have been struggling really hard to keep their homes because the investors want to come in and take it. And now we see the same kind of wordings about Gaza, that, we can come in and clean it up and build some nice hotels. And that's exactly the same model. You know, you tear something down and then we can save it by building something for us, not for you. It's kind of...
And the way in which all of that wipes out people, like wipes out culture, wipes out peoples. I mean, indigenous peoples, indigenous Puerto Ricans, indigenous Palestinians from Gaza. It's...
Or the Hawaiians.
Oh, the Hawaiians. Yeah.
So... Puerto Rico in our hearts. I've never been there, but I want to go there and visit the Community Land Trust.
I will go back eventually once I can travel to the United States again. Right now, that's not a possibility, nor do I want to. It's such a
they
broad
might not let us in. That's the problem. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Okay, my word for you. It's a really big word. Universal.
Universal. Oh, I start to think about the publishing company that is like buying up all the rights of the music all over the world, that they basically own everything published. And when we do films, we always have to talk to Universal.
Okay.
And for Push. Remember at the bar in Toronto when they were singing and the community, really warm community bar in Toronto, and the singer Michael was singing La Vie en Rose, the French Edith Piaf song, and we wanted to have it, but Universal didn't even want to sell it to us. They refused to even let us have it in a documentary, because then, of course, they can sell it for a lot of money to somewhere else, and they want to keep, and they have nothing to do with the songwriter. They just bought up this catalog. So, fuck Universal, big time. And all these people who are buying up rights of something that is kind of, in many ways, I would say, belongs to all of us. Because what Edith Piaf did belongs to all of us, not to Universal.
Absolutely.
But Universal, I guess you were looking for something different.
Well, I love it. No, I love it because this is the filmmaker and the advocate, right? So the filmmaker goes, boom, right to Universal owning the music that he needs for his films.
Yeah.
Super interesting. And of course, for the advocate, I mean, the big debates right now as a human rights lawyer is around whether human rights are in fact universal when they are certainly not upheld for certain groups of people.
You mean that whites have more rights than other colors of skins?
Yeah, and certain whites, yeah.
Certain whites have even more rights, yeah.
Exactly.
I think they should publish a list of who has the most human rights.
Yeah, who's allowed to have the most human rights. Well, I think we already know that list. I think it would run parallel with the richest people in the world down, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember when we were sued for the film Bananas, and I constantly got a question that I was a bit awkward to get because people asked me all the time if I was afraid of my life, if they would kill me. And I always said, first of all, I didn't like the question, but also that there is a higher price on killing a Swedish filmmaker than killing a union leader in Colombia. You know, I could in some way feel much safer because of the color of my skin and my passport and so on. So so the universal human rights and the universal human rights law should be for all. I mean, it's designed to be for all, but it's not really happening. And what is happening right now, which I think is very interesting, and I think that's also thanks to your work, is that more and more people talk about the international law. I mean, AOC now went to Europe and she talked about universal law. So it's obviously the language is getting there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what your job, when we did Push, you said a home is a human right, a safe home. So language is moving. And I think that as we are up against a storytelling machine, where Musk and Bezos and all these big guys are pumping in millions of dollars to tell their story, still the value of a clear language makes it difficult for them, because your language of human rights and international law, they still have to fight it every day because the message is very clear and they have problems to counter it. And I think that's interesting.
Yeah. And I think I love the moment where something like human rights and the universality is both completely irrelevant right now and never more relevant. And that's a really interesting, for me, I like that place. It feels good. And I do think that there's a general understanding that even if you don't know much about human rights law, I think there is a kind of coalescing around the moral bankruptcy of Western world leaders. And to rally around moral bankruptcy ends up meaning you're rallying for human rights. You're rallying for something, and it tends to be human rights. So I have a friend who wrote a book called Universal, which is why I threw that word at you. And
tell me about the book. Yeah.
It's by Alex Neve, the former Secretary General of Amnesty Canada, and he is now actually on a UN body responsible for monitoring Venezuela. And he just got appointed, so super interesting moment for him. But his book has created a big conversation in Canada. He's touring around with it, and it's really he doesn't have rose-colored glasses by any means. He's seen everything. I mean, he was the head of Amnesty Canada. He traveled the world. He saw that universality was a bit of a joke for so many, many people. But he has this unending optimism that human rights is the way to go. It is valid, and the universality is a must. There's no such thing as human rights without universality, and he's really pushing it. Really pushing it. I think I'm a little bit more of a skeptic. I mean, I still believe in human rights, but getting to the universality, I think, is going to take a lot of shifting.
Yeah, I mean, this struggle. Sometimes we win and sometimes we lose. It's like it will be back and forth for a long time.
Yeah,
but I think language strengthens people who want to fight back. So we need this language that you and your colleague is fighting for.
Yeah,
that's good. I like the universal love.
Universal love. That's where we need to go.
Thank you, Leilani.
Thanks, Fredrik.
And to friends, if you want to support the podcast, send us some money on Patreon. It's not bad. Patreon.com, Pushback Talks. See you.
See you.
Pushback Talks is produced by WG Film. To support the podcast, become a patron by going to patreon.com/pushbacktalks. Follow us on social media at make_the_shift and push_the_film. Or check out our websites, maketheshift.org, pushthefilm.com, or breakingsocialfilm.com.